Hey, good morning. Welcome to the 5 a.m. Master Scrum Show. Hope you're doing well. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Hey, this 5 a.m. Master Scrum Show. I am Greg Master, Scrum Master and Agile Coach. And today I want to talk about my daughter had a homework assignment, or we had to sign her test that we have to sign every time she brings them home and bring them back to her teacher. And she waited till today, this morning, to share. She had Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then it reminded me of so many Scrum teams, Scrum Masters that I have coached and seen over the years, not just the ones I've coached, but a lot of the ones I've seen over the years and how projects gets managed. And talk about links. I got this old railroad lock that they used to use to lock back the cars, right? The freight cars, or I think they also used them for the locks on the signals so that you couldn't switch tracks on people without taking the key and unlocking it. So that's what I want to talk about today, and how you use your system to build strong connections, locks between, or links. So I thought about it. I was like, I got a chain somewhere, and I found this chain on a lock that I had bought for the Railroad Museum, which is going to have it. This is going to be a year for the museum to open up. This is my goal. Anyway, so I found that link, and I wanted to talk about making those links. So today on the 5 a.m. Scrum Show, we want to talk about Scrum and Agile in a practical and tactical way, so you can bring value to your customer, not with crazy hours to do it, and have fun along the way. Though I will admit, my daughter's message this morning, well, I wanted to get up early so I get you to sign my test. I said, you got to get on the bus in 5 minutes. Well, I know, but this is a story where she triggered in my brain. I know there's a Scrum story in this one where she had all weekend to share those papers to sign and waits to the last minute. She had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and she waits until this morning to say, here, sign my papers. Could have missed it. Yeah, we got it done. I had to work harder and get her there and be late and stressing out, but we could have done it earlier and make it less stressful. So that's what I want to talk about with Scrum teams and Scrum Masters. Getting into prevention versus fixing problems. And this is a problem I see, where so many times where teams have connections to other teams, like dependencies, right? Dependencies. We do the links. We got any one of the systems have ways of linking. And the first thing I look at when I look at a team that wants to be in a safe or an enterprise or a scaled environment is I look at the links, to be honest with you. Do you have any links to any other teams? If you don't, I question why. And then if they come back to me later, well, we're delayed because team XYZ. Well, you didn't have any links in your system to team XYZ. How are you working to prevent this? And this is what I want to give Scrum Masters and project managers also. I'm really amazed. All these project managers that became Scrum Masters don't do this. I'm kind of really disappointed in a lot of them, because if you really were a good project manager, that's your key to your existence, is these dependencies. Any project fails is because of dependencies. It's 101 in project management school, though I don't think they teach that. Sometimes I wonder if I should teach a project management school to teach you the real world of project management. So what Scrum Masters should be doing, they should be looking at the backlog, what's coming up. They're in touch with their product owners, and I'm assuming their team and their team leads or tech people and everything. And when there are work coming that's going to have dependencies, the Scrum Master shouldn't be waiting to the sprint to solve the dependency. So many teams, I see them pick up work and don't negotiate and build that real strong connection between their team's work and the other team's work. They have the dependency, whether it be a couple of things. One, work coming into their team's work. Are they working with them to make sure it's on there to come into, like, if you're going to take something in your backlog and you have a dependency, your Scrum Master should be out there going to the other teams, and these systems, they have it. It's so simple to connect this, and I don't know why they don't do it. Give me your PBI item in your backlog that you're doing that we want to connect to, and I want to connect my work to their PBI item. right? It's not very hard. It's very easy. Now, once you have that, you know whether or not that work is progressing well because you can monitor it, right? Been doing that for decades. It's not new. And you can see if they're going to slip their sprint or they're going to make their sprint or it's going to get done, and you can prevent that. So if it's not ready and your team won't be able to use it or do their job until the other work's done, now you're preventing a blocker because you don't put that item in the backlog unless absolutely necessary. And that's another story, right? Why is that item absolutely necessary? But that gives you that prevention because you don't take on work that the other team hasn't finished yet for you to take on because it's just going to stress your team out, right? And they're going to lose on doing something that provides value to the customer. Work on another piece of thing that provides value. The other aspect of it is when your team is picking up on something for the sprint, you should be able to know that ahead of time before the day of the sprint. I mean, people are like, oh, we don't know what work we're doing until the sprint. That's bullshit. Okay. There's little things that you may not know whether you're taking on, but the major things you're going to know, right? So they make up stuff like we don't know. It's an excuse, right? So you can't let that excuse. So you kind of know what your team's going to do. You need to go before your sprint starts, or better off the dependency. Let's say you're going to put something, you're going to build something, and you want to deploy it to prod, or you want to put it in production, or give it to the other team. Is the other team ready to take it on? Did they save space in the current sprint or the next sprint to implement what you're doing? Right? This is prevention. So before you get into the sprint, you should be negotiating with the other team for a PBI item that you can link your item to so that you know whether or not it's actually in the sprint or the next sprint or where, or maybe not on the backlog altogether. I've been there. Someone said, oh, we're doing it. And I go, I was the agile coach for both teams. I go, it's not on there. I had the Scrum Master went up. You're right. It wasn't on there. I told you. So you really want as solid as this chain is. Now, can I cut this chain with bolt cutters? Yes, but it's pretty solid. You want your connection between the other team, your team and the other team to be very solid with a solid link. So you know whether or not the work's going to get done or was done, or they have space to take on one. Because let's say you did all this work, but you can't deploy to production because some production group or some other group or some testing group didn't reserve space to do what they need to do with your product. That's a failure on your part. And what I'm saying is Scrum Masters need to work in preventing blockers as much fixing blockers. I mean, if you're going to tell me, oh, well, we didn't have this or didn't have the work scheduled. Well, did you go make sure that they had a PBI item in their sprint to take on what you did? If you didn't, that was your failure, right? And this is a basic thing. And I just wanted to share that to you, just like my daughter, who I love dearly and love her so much. I didn't yell at her. I just go, you had Friday, Saturday, Sunday to tell me to do it. And you wait till last minute. So now I'm fixing your blocker versus preventing a blocker, right? Could have worked on it, knew it was coming. I could have asked for it. I'm not going to go ask you every day for your test assignment. That's your job, right? And that can be another story. I could do that as another story for Scrum Masters. But Scrum Masters, work on preventing blockers as much as fixing blockers, if not more. You're more valuable if you prevent the blockers from ever occurring and know where the blockers are coming from. It's basic project management, basic Scrum Master, basic keeping the flow moving. So with that, I want to say have a great day. Happy scrumming. See you tomorrow. And it's going to be a crazy week this week. So take care, everyone. Enjoy. And I wish you best of luck with all your preventing of all the blockers and your links. And, you know, if you saw me, I'd be like, first thing, let me see what your connections are, your risks are with other teams. That's like question 2. One, do you have a backlog? And do you have what's the connections to other ones? So with that, say take care. Have a great day and bye.